Jesus had spent 30 years serving and getting prepared for this moment. This was the time he'd waited for to fulfill God's plan. But first, he had to be tested. He was led into the wilderness where he didn't eat for 40 days. Imagine how weak and hungry he felt. But he wasn't fasting to lose weight or twist God's arm. He wanted to seek God more than anything else. And the devil comes to Jesus to test him and says, if you're the Son of God, tell these stones to turn into bread. Now Jesus could quite easily have done it. Remember, he fed 5,000 people with just a few loaves of bread. And despite his hunger and weakness, there was something more important. He said people don't live on bread alone, but by every word that comes from God. And the devil will tempt you when your physical needs aren't being met, that God doesn't care. And they're important, yes, but there's something even more important. And that's letting God speak to you through the Bible. Now Jesus knew this book. He came back to the devil using this. How much time lately have you let God speak into you from the Bible and direct in your life? The devil then takes Jesus to Jerusalem to the temple and tells him to throw himself off because God's angels will protect him. He even uses the Bible to try and trick Jesus. Now you and I can take the Bible out of context and get verses to say any old thing we want. So it's important we understand the whole Bible if we want to know God's direction and purpose for our lives. Finally, the devil takes Jesus to a high mountain and says, if you will worship me, I'll give you all of this. He was trying to get Jesus to take a shortcut and avoid the cross. For you and me, there are no shortcuts. We have to go the way of the cross. Every day choosing to surrender our lives to Jesus. Not reluctantly or out of some religious duty, but willingly as a grateful response to Him for all He's done to us. Now you and I are unlikely to spend 40 days fasting in a desert, but there is a cost to following Jesus. And when everything piles on top of us, sometimes it can feel so overwhelming and we want to cry out, God, do you even care? But in those moments we need to trust God, to stand on His word. And in the Bible it says, everyone experiences temptations. God will not allow them to be more than you can stand. When you're tempted, He will show you a way out so that you can endure. Temptations will come your way. If you mess up, just confess it. Accept God's forgiveness and move on. Let's equip ourselves with God's word, knowing He will give us the strength to overcome. And don't let those difficulties drive you away from Jesus. Instead, use them to push you closer to Him. Jesus has given us an example to follow. So no matter what challenges you face today, know that He will give you the strength to overcome.